You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole. 18 Chronicans, welcome to or welcome back to the channel. I am very excited. I'm sure we are very excited to jump into this CashualChuck's SB19 story. And this is starting with episode 1, the ultimate sound break. We actually know CashualChuck because he happened to react to our reactions twice on his channel. And he does really cool things where he sees what celebrity lookalike you are. And you were Drew Barrymore and Taylor Swift. I was Ben Affleck and Brad Pitt. So we felt really good after seeing all of that. That's to show our connection. And you guys also, after doing the concert vlog, let us know that this is one of the best documentaries out there for SB19. We just saw the Netflix one as well, which you guys gave us a lot of support on too. So let's see what this one is all about. And he has a tiny write-up here with this documentary details how the phenomenal Filipino boy group SB19 came to be and how they survived the absolute dissolution of their training program.
Oh, crazy. I'm really excited to see how they came to be and to see all of their backstory because we've seen SB19 live. We've seen a lot of their music videos, but we haven't really seen their behind the scenes. We know there was a lot of something that happened where their name couldn't be used, but this says the dissolution of their training program. So it looks like they have had to go over and overcome a lot more than just what we know so far. So I'm really excited to see how SB19 has overcome those hurdles and become the amazing boy group that we know today.
Something I already love going right into this is how much 18 makes their own stuff for SB19. So like we have all the stuff back there. 18 themselves made the LSB as well. Now we have a die-hard 18 with CashualChuck, who's like his whole channel is devoted to SB19. To have an actual documentary from someone like that, you know it's gonna have nothing missing and we're gonna see everything we need to see. So this is the ultimate sound break, and let's find out how he starts the story.
Yeah, I'm excited.
When you hear the words pop,
Nice. Disclaimer.
This video is based on my personal research. I might miss some details and it's possible to have discrepancies, but I did my best to get as much accurate information as possible. So enjoy.
when you
Love
hear
it.
the words pop music and the best boy band, who comes to mind?
Yeah, a lot of good.
Yeah.
What if I told you that the most overlooked boy group in our generation might be these guys?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So handsome.
In the last
Wow.
6 years,
Look at Stelman.
these guys turned a small Korean entertainment company into a company that produced the greatest P-pop group ever.
Are you proud of
Oh, we're so lucky to
SB19?
see them. Yeah, we're proud.
And you don't accomplish that
Also, because it's in English, do we need subtitles?
Maybe not. I think he's got us covered.
I think so.
Of SB19.
and you don't accomplish that without making a few enemies.
K-pop. Lima pala sila. K-pop pangit.
Some of them coming from unexpected places.
Pinoy ba daw?
Parang may ginaya rin eh.
But behind the group are
Wow.
5 driven men who were about to transform
Ginaya.
Now I just want to see if he has that subtitled of what the guy said in the video, because then if so, it might be worth it.
some of them coming from unexpected places.
Pinoy ba daw?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need it.
Parang may ginaya rin eh.
But behind the group are 5 driven men who were about to transform what was once a laughingstock genre in music into the fastest growing genre of the world.
Wow, even
Ever
more than
since we
K-pop?
had this goal, and not just for us but for the entire industry.
Feeling ko hindi pa natin nakukuha yung recognition na dapat para sa atin.
Between disbanding before they even debuted,
All hope is lost parang nung time na yun.
becoming industry outcasts
Are
and
you
getting
gay?
bashed by their own countrymen,
Jeez.
Sana magkaroon tayo ng grupo na hindi naman mangkataasan ng tangos ng ilong.
That's
Para
right.
talagang original.
Oo.
the rise of SB19 may not be the greatest Filipino success story ever.
Maganda kasi yung revenge kasi talaga yung success na ipapakita mo sa mga
Success is the best revenge.
Yeah.
But it certainly is the most inspiring one.
Nice. Yeah, they're so inspiring. You already can tell it's gonna be world class. Wow. Here we go.
Sound break. Remake.
Cool. Nice cover.
This is called Triple, a group of talented performers and comedians from Korea you've probably never heard of.
Nope.
They were formed back in 1994 when the word K-pop hasn't even been invented.
Okay.
In 2002, one of the members made the biggest mistake of his life, which will change the entire course of P-pop history. That member was Jong Song Han. It all started when he left the trio in 2002 to become an entrepreneur. Cult Triple became Cult 2. Most of their fans thought that Songhan's decision was a huge mistake because the remaining members started racking up different awards in the entertainment industry. If he only stuck around, he would have gotten those awards too.
Right.
But this man's decision was final. He used all of his savings to build an event organizing company called ShowBT Entertainment.
Oh, wow.
Today we know him as Tatang Robin. Fast forward to 2015. The fight of the century just happened. One Direction's Drag Me Down was all over the radio, and Big Bang was the biggest K-pop boy group. While P-pop has top one
Nice,
project,
not BTS at the
chances
time.
are you have never heard of them. But somewhere in Makati, Philippines, an audition was held. Tatang Robin was looking for young talents who would be part of the package of their service as an event organizers. Talents who can
Now you're gonna find out why they're called SB19 as well, because I don't know if you know, and I know a lot of us have tried to let us know in the comments here, but the connection of Korea and Filipino, why the SB itself, they're gonna show because it like has something to do with their abbreviations and all that too. But it's just so cool to know that Korea, even some guy had to go off a limb and come off of that. They became a 2. They were successful, but now he's trying to build something here. You can just see.
Yeah.
That's amazing for
What's
me.
really crazy is like, yeah, he left the trio and now they're a duo. But and a lot of people disagreed with that. And like, you can have your feelings or whatever, but this man had a dream that he could bring what he had with the trio to somewhere else.
Yeah, and to the Philippines.
To the Philippines. He
Yeah.
thought, he's like, I could bring this to the Philippines. I could make some Filipino bands like these boy bands. There's talent over in the Philippines, and I know that talent can succeed, and I want to be a part of that.
Totally, because like every time we hear a Filipino's voice on the channel, it's beyond incredible, right?
It is. And their
There's so much talent
language is very musical.
Yeah.
In of itself. Tagalog is a musical language.
Yeah, absolutely.
Philippines, an audition was held. Tatang Robin was looking for young talents who would be part of the package of their service as an event organizers. Talents who can perform on their own but can also serve as backup dancers and singers to their main performers. One of the main attractions of the SAT audition was if you're good enough, you might just debut as a member of ShowBT's first ever P-pop group to undergo a Korean-style training.
Right.
Filipinos don't get
very
opportunities
cool.
like that so often, so hundreds of talents applied, but only 30 made it as trainees. They were initially called the ShowBT
Wait, can you
Music.
see a
Only
minute?
30 made it as trainees. They were initially called the ShowBT Musical Gala Team, but then later dubbed as Nara, which in Korean means country and also happens to be the national tree of the Philippines.
Oh, wow.
If you're a fan who is deep into the P-pop scene, you would recognize some of the future P-pop stars, but one of the most notable ones is this guy.
Yeah. Okay,
On the
there
first
it
day
is.
of training, one guy stood out because he was just alone standing awkwardly in the
I
corner.
bet Pablo.
ang weird niya kung nagsasalita mag-isa.
He was facing the wall and making hand gestures as if he was rapping in front of it.
Nakatayo siya sa gilid. Lang gagano. Sabi ko, anong ginagawa na? Nagre-ritual ba ito sa gilid?
That guy was John Paulo Mason. He always wanted to be a performer, As a young dreamer, he joined several competitions as a soloist and also as a member of the K-pop dance cover group called PHP. In training, he was the guy who shows up early and leaves late despite juggling a full-time job as a data analyst to help provide for his family.
Wow.
He was
Pablo.
selected due to his undeniable diligence and leadership qualities.
No kidding.
He is known to have critically acclaimed songwriting ability. Some of my sources even said that he had already written dozens of songs at this time.
I don't doubt it.
He's also a badass rapper and was often called a genius, but consistently denied it because he claimed to be just a hard worker. This made him the destined leader of the group. He was known as Sejin at the time, but later would be
Sejin.
known as Pablo.
Interesting. Oh my god.
30 trainees are low.
Pablo.
I love that they showed the image of Eminem with "Lose Yourself" in the 8 Mile there, just in front of it, like because we know how nervous Pablo gets. Like he's ready to
Yes.
throw up. Knees weak, spaghetti. You know, like
Yeah.
it's about to come out because we know he loves it and he has so much passion. But something about the stage itself is always something that he's had to come and grow into as well. As he said, that's what made him stand out was his
Absolutely.
kind of just reservedness being in there while everyone's trying to show who they can be and trying to be what they think you want them to see, where Pablo's like no, this is me, and that's why you picked it.
That's why you picked it, because while everyone else is showing off, he's able to maintain his cool. And
Yeah.
that's a leadership quality right there.
No kidding, because he can be, we know his rapping ability, he can go rap god mode, but then his presence just to be calm also is very dominating even.
It really is.
30 trainees are a lot of trainees. It would take a very observant person with an eye for talent to notice Pablo in that corner. So who was that observant person with an eye for talent? Well, he was also a trainee.
Really?
Stelvester Ajero.
Thank God for Stell, eh?
He was only a kid when he started competing as a performer. As a dancer, he racked up win after win on a national level with his school crew and
Yeah.
became their official choreographer, teaching crewmates 2 to 3 years older than him. He later
Damn.
joined a dance crew called Seon and went on to win international titles. Stel obviously worked so hard. Amidst his studies and competitions, he also worked part-time as a McDonald's service crew and teaching dance to kids with special needs. There was a point that he worked too
Wow.
hard that he wound up in the hospital.
Oh my God.
His poor health caused him to lose his earnings and nearly his life. Fortunately, he was able to recover. This made him the obvious choice to become the choreographer of the group. But little did they know that dancing wasn't his only talent. As a kid, he joined the school choir to
He
become
must
the
have.
only male soprano and only improved as he gotten older.
Wow.
He easily became the main heavenly voice of the group because his vocals were just
Yeah.
out of this world.
No kidding.
Unlike Pablo, Stel was very friendly to everyone. In fact,
Unlike Pablo, well, I guess if Pablo's more reserved,
Of course, we
being
talked about
reserved can come across as unfriendly at times, even if it's not unfriendly.
it's hard to be as enthusiastic if that's just the way you are in reserve. But what's so cool about Stell is he always looked the most like manly, I would say, out of them, especially when he's like in the shower with Gento and all that, right? But then you can see he has that soprano voice and he's the angel voice, and that's always what's been so interesting for me about Stell is the way he looks, the way he sounds, and the way he moves are just like wow, world class and dynamic.
Absolutely.
unlike Pablo, Stel was very friendly to everyone. In fact, one of his closest friends also auditioned and made it as a trainee. This friend is nothing to be trifled with because having the worst upbringing among the others made him the strongest when it comes down to pure guts and determination. Josh Cullen Santos. He left home at the age of 16 and it was his decision. From growing up in a
Cool.
toxic environment to being physically abused as a kid by their nanny. I'm talking about getting poured candle wax all over their body. At an early age, he
Wow.
experienced
That
what it
sucks.
felt like to be a member of a middle-class family that went rock bottom in just a matter of months. They got evicted from medium-sized apartments to increasingly smaller rooms. It came to a point when his family had nothing to eat with rice but ketchup and salt. They had no permanent address. Because of that, Josh and his sister dropped out of school multiple times, so they got bullied at school for being repeaters. Sometimes he would even get into fistfights for defending her. Josh had enough of this, so he decided to leave to become independent and started working as an internet cafe attendant. Using his own income, he took the alternative learning system to attain his high school degree. He initially
Good
had
for
no
him.
background in
Good
performing.
job.
Not until he found Stel performing with his dance group called Seon. Josh became an instant fan, and when they connected, Stel became his mentor, which led to them becoming co-members, and they went on to win numerous K-pop dance cover
Oh, wow.
competitions all over Asia.
Wow.
They even met BTS during one of their winning runs in Korea.
Crazy.
So from champions
That's cool.
to trainees. What else is in store for them?
And that's cool for us to see that their paths really have crossed. And that, again, it's just so cool to see how much Stel has taken on that enthusiastic leader role and to take people under his wing and to raise them up. And I also think Josh has some of the best dance moves out there too.
He does.
to know
Josh is
they've been
insane.
they've been winning awards forever. That's really amazing as well to know just how
Absolutely.
dynamic each of them are. I can't wait to hear more about Justin and all that too.
Absolutely.
From then on, their lives became
Some
all
Mamma
about
Mia,
performing
eh?
in small
Love
events
Mamma Mia.
and training.
We had one mentor when we were training. Tapos, more on personality development siya. Tapos, presenting ourselves on stage.
We had no idea that the Korean-style training they went through
It's far, far from what they've been doing sa Korea.
was nothing but a mere marketing strategy.
Smart.
But yung skill-wise, parang ganun. We were left on our own.
That's really smart. Make people think you're getting trained that specific way, but you actually have the freedom.
They were left alone to fend for themselves.
Wow. Yeah. Have the freedom to kind of do whatever. I wasn't really understanding. So like they said that they would be getting the Korean marketing strategy, they'd be getting the Korean training strategy, but then what ended up happening is they're more left alone to kind of learn how to train themselves.
Yeah, so they used it as a marketing ploy. So even though they took on a lot of the things that the Koreans were doing over there as their style, they still actually changed it up enough to have their own style as well while pushing it forward. So it's kind of
Okay.
more of a hybrid, but they were able to have their own dance choreography compared to if we think of say a BTS, a lot of that was derived from the actual company itself on top of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Okay, that makes more sense. So when I first understood it as it was used as a marketing strategy and then it was a lie and then they were kind of left on their own and I was like, that's not smart. That's not okay because then that drives failure versus driving
they did that to make sure they had a market so people would take them seriously because at the end of the day they were going to train their own way. But if you don't think you're being trained the NBA way to make NBA and you're training in Europe, you still can make the NBA training in Europe,
Yes, you can.
but you don't have to train that way.
The
So
NBA way.
they're trying to make sure they're being presented in a way that people are going to still receive them with the respect, but they're actually going to do it still kind of their own way, which I think
Absolutely.
is brilliant.
Okay.
We had one mentor when we were
Because of
training.
personality development,
Tapos,
that
more
wasn't
on
really
personality
happening.
development
Yeah,
siya.
that's true.
Tapos, presenting ourselves on stage.
We had no idea that the Korean-style training they went through
It's far, far from what they've been doing sa Korea.
was nothing but a mere marketing strategy.
But yung skill-wise, parang ganun. We were left on our own.
They were left alone to fend for themselves, sharing knowledge to improve each other with the hope of making the cut.
Yeah, see, that's what
Yeah.
I kind of thought happened. Left on their own, and I don't think
Yeah.
that's
That's why they came out so well.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
Stell, I think because they have Estelle, that's why it became so good. I understand you're saying why didn't they do it? They probably don't have the resources to do that.
Absolutely. So like for me, it's like it rubs me a little bit off because like I'm like, oh, they used it as a marketing strategy, then they didn't follow through, and then that just upsets me. So like that's how I see that, but I can
We can
see
see it.
how the benefit of like let's say because of having Estelle and Stell took that under his wing, I can like yes, I see that that makes it better for SB19 because they were like they are independent and they've really always been independent because they were left on their own, whereas they were promised a training regiment that never was followed through with. So that's kind of where me being a little on edge kind of is because I'm just like, what do you mean they left them on their own? They promised them something and they didn't follow through.
I think
How dare they?
in my opinion, you're overthinking it. And the first album did sound a lot more like P-pop, and then they started finding their own way. They did get trained a specific way. They just have more freedom here to have fun. And
yeah, you're right.
Some sources told me that Pablo had to record some of their vocal sessions to effectively coach his co-trainees.
Exactly.
All of that without salary.
Which is rough.
This went on for roughly a couple of years,
But
and
they-
I don't
they
know
get
about
paid
you
in
guys, but
any
this
trainee
for me
way.
sounded kind of brutal. It's not easy to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again without any form of guidance. They were also kept in the dark about their debut date. So frustration started brewing until it reached the point when it only took one trigger to call it quits. On one seemingly normal training day, all trainees were already in the studio, except for Josh. On the same morning, the train broke down.
Nasira MRT during that time. Nasira yung MRT.
Sinuspindi ang operasyon ng MRT dahil sa power outage.
It wasn't really an accident, but this would still worry anyone, especially the trainees, because it's highly unusual for Josh to miss training. Later that morning, Josh arrived. His co-trainees felt relieved because Josh turned out to be safe. You would think that their company would react the same way, right? Wrong.
Oh no.
They decided to terminate his training.
Late ako, tas tinanggal ako.
That was the trigger.
Nung tinanggal po ako.
And that's where your alarms are going.
That's where my alarms are going off the whole time.
I know, it got so dark for me. I was like, honey, let's keep this chill.
And I know something's going on. Like there's something not right. I can smell it.
For sure. The cream always rises, though, as we know.
Wrong. They decided to terminate his training.
Late ako, tas tinanggal ako.
That was the trigger.
It was
Nung
tardy.
tinanggal po ako, nag-quit din yung mga grupo ko. Nag-quit din sila kasi parang naging trigger na point na kung tatanggalin mo si Josh.
Umalis kami sa grupo.
Ganun mo lang kadali itapon yung lahat ng efforts and passion tsaka dreams namin.
Show BT had two choices: to keep all trainees or to keep no trainees.
Wow.
The company chose the latter. Everyone left except for Stell.
Parang si Stella lang yung naiwan po lang talaga sa training room. Tapos
I knew he wouldn't have
down na
left.
daw lahat.
Si Stel natira kasi doon during that time.
Stell set aside all his frustration and remained focused on his goal.
See, and that's where my heart was at.
Yeah.
That's why I said they believe it. They have Stell. And to see how he
While Pablo was devastated.
All hope is lost parang nung time na yun.
In Josh's case, we can only imagine the pain he must have felt to have been booted out of his dreams. Days passed, everyone still feeling down about that incident. Then Pablo's phone receives a message.
Brother, tumalik ka na, brother.
It was Josh.
Good.
Out of all the trainees, the guy that got sent packing was the same guy who actively convinced everyone to continue chasing their dreams. Perhaps this was the sheer guts and determination from his life experiences in full display. Pablo hurried back to the studio to find Stell alone. But not for long. Josh came back next and took the initiative to convince the company to have them back.
Pumunta lang po ako doon at syempre kung kailangan na makiusap.
So back to training, they went.
Hindi na lang magkahiwalay ng grupo pero bumalik sila kasi hindi nila ako iwan.
Can you imagine if Stell left that day?
There was only 3 of them for a while. Then a few other trainees started coming back. So Show BT put together a talent workshop to get more talents to keep the business going. This was batch 1. This was batch 2.
Target locked.
Justin De Dios.
Nice. There
He
he
got
is.
scouted right away because he was a very good-looking guy and
You think?
already was a decent singer and dancer. When he joined, he immediately saw a familiar face in Josh.
You look familiar. As do you.
Apparently, Josh told Justin about the workshop because the two already had a stint performing together in a dance cover group called Zero to Hero.
Oh, nice.
So Justin as well wasn't new in the world of performing.
They're also
he
connected.
auditioned to be a part of the televised Pinoy boy band Superstar, but he didn't even make it to the live auditions. Perhaps it was fate. That group is nowhere to be found today. Justin obviously deserved better. He went on to finish his college degree in multimedia arts while training, which earned him a filmmaking skill that would prove very crucial to their success in the future.
Wow.
With Justin on board, this completed their prototype boy group.
Paradox.
It's composed of Justin, Pablo, Stel, Josh, Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They did multiple test runs leading up
Where's
to their entry to
Ken?
Pinoy K-pop
Yeah,
Star
where's
2017. They performed B-Day by Icon in an epic fashion, but they didn't win. At this point, Show BT seemed to have hit a roadblock. The group felt like something was missing. I don't exactly know what happened to Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They either quit or Show BT felt the need to let go of them and get someone who could take this already great group of guys and push them to achieve the next level. The extraordinary level. This years in the making project of Show BT needed to reach its peak. So they started the online auditions. When Josh heard about it, he was like, I know a guy.
Nice. Josh knew the guy too. God.
The guy he was talking about was a pain in his butt because their groups have clashed multiple times in their early dance
Oh, wow.
competitions and their battles were always
Josh
neck and
there.
neck. That guy's name was Philip John Suson.
Yeah.
He
He'd be
was
hard to
such a
compete against.
specimen. He
Yeah.
was so naturally gifted that excelling in sports looked like a walk in the park for him. He grew up in the church under the care of his grandparents.
Wow.
He was an artistic kid, so he was active as an editorial cartoonist in school. Nobody taught him how to play musical instruments. He taught himself by just listening to the music, so he ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist, but he later
Wow,
fixed
southpaw
it
too.
as he learned more. He was also a
fixed
gifted
it.
singer as a kid. Every time there was a family gathering, he was always forced to sing karaoke by his relatives. But when he hit puberty, he lost confidence in his voice because he could no longer hit high notes. But his
Ooh.
confidence came back after being mentored by Pablo, who taught him how to harness his unique low voice that seemingly
Incredible.
sounds like it came from the underworld.
Love his low voice.
When it comes to dance, he didn't know he could do it until he was forced to in order.
There's a reason why my honeys has Ken.
It doesn't sit backwards. I tried. Oh.
Yeah,
Never
honey,
mind.
don't worry, I got you. What were you saying? What were you saying, hun?
It doesn't fit backwards. I
This just
tried.
doesn't fit? I know how to make things fit. I'm a guy. Here we go.
Manhandle it.
Oh, that's the perfect shot of Ken right there. Like dynamic, and when you got to finish off a band, you need something like this, and that is what they were looking for, was that darker, deeper tone to complete them, right?
I know a guy. Here's Ken.
When it comes to dance, he didn't know he could do it until he was forced to in order to get good grades during their school intramurals. After discovering dance, he transformed from a guy who didn't know it to someone who can fly. Because of his raw talent, he ended up teaching dance to the entire school and continued on to join the dance group called Amigo 7, a would-be
Wow.
rival of Josh and Stel's crew, Seyon. It quickly became a reverse if you can't beat them, then join them kind of deal. So Josh
That's a great
recruited
one.
Ken.
That.
But there was a problem. He was hundreds of islands away and didn't have the money. What did Josh do? He shelled out for his plane ticket. With nothing else to lose, Philip went and left his previous life in the countryside. He then trained with the boys and officially debuted with them as Ken. The main dancer, the bass vocalist, and the lead rapper of the group. One thing to
Holy
note is
crap.
that they were an unlikely bunch because they wouldn't have met each other if Tatang Robin stayed with his already successful group in Korea.
That's so
Justin
impressive.
didn't make it in his first audition, so he almost didn't try again until Josh told him to do so. And Ken wouldn't even have the opportunity to join if the Show BT trainees
Josh.
didn't come back after that quitting incident.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the butterfly effect. When a small
Yeah,
and seemingly
no kidding.
insignificant occurrence has a rippling effect through time, leading to a consequential event sometime long after the initial event. Or as Google would put it, the phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have large effects elsewhere.
Yes.
Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002 led to forming the future P-pop Kings. In 2018, SB19 was formed. The name of the group was carefully picked. The number 19
Right.
is the sum of Korea and the Philippines country code digits, 82 and 63. So 8 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 is 19.
Interesting.
If you subtract both numbers, you also get the same result.
Oh, wow.
SB doesn't only mean
cool.
Show BT. It is also about their ultimate goal for Pinoy sound to break into the music industry, which
Sound
is
break.
fearlessly represented
Sound
by
break.
this phrase. Sound break.
Wow, it makes sense now.
I get it.
We get it. Impressive first episode. Wow.
Very good.
That's cool when he got some help too.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, SB19, for inspiring to
So
never
many
quit.
people.
To never quit, y'all. And that's it right there. Like the last reaction we had before this one was quit live performance and getting to see their story. They had to not quit many times, and it's really inspirational. And I think it was honestly cool to see that different dynamic in that moment with their training processes as well, because everyone's a different style of training as well. What's interesting is they never came back and asked for forgiveness. They just came back and asked for an opportunity again. Because at the end of the day, that's the people giving them the opportunity
And
to
that's
have
them
this
saying,
stage.
we weren't wrong to walk out.
Yeah, and there's the other side of it. And that's the main side is you guys were wrong. He did not deserve to go. It was not because he didn't want to be here and so
The
on and so
train
forth.
broke down.
And the love and support that they have for each other, but also the determination in one individual to keep a group going is sometimes that's all it needs. I even know Linkin Park itself came back together after many years just because their friendship started talking about each other, but it took just one friend being like, hey, you ever think about playing again? Like it takes that one person to motivate, and think how many times they were motivating each other to finally get to that five that we love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like they have really shown what it means to like overcome hurdles upon hurdles, because being promised a training program and then not getting that training program is a hurdle. Being not even having opportunities like that to begin with until all of a sudden there's this butterfly effect where this one guy decides, I want to try and start a idol group here. Let's have an audition. Only 30 of you are going to make it. Good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor. And to like put in so much hard, raw talent and effort and hard work to get to that point, it really shows what this band, SB19, really wanted to overcome and endure to be able to become like such a phenomenon that they are today.
I think this was the perfect first episode to lay the foundation of honestly how they all came together, how the name came together. For us, names really mean a lot because that names do have meaning, and we wanted to really know that history, so that got checked off as well. It was really cool seeing an honest take from a true 18 that has been there from the beginning to the end to know these little things as well, and it's so cool to see the team that he has with him to make sure that these are going to be great anticipate moving forward. This actually came out at the end of last year, so I don't know how many episodes there are or if he's completely done it or not. So we definitely are very excited to continue moving forward with this. So if you guys did have a good time with us, please hit the like button, comment down below what your first thoughts were if you didn't know some of these things the first time you saw this amazing documentary. And if you do want to see more and you're not a Chronican yet, hit that notification bell and subscribe to us on the way out. But we are now exiting the rabbit hole, folks.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. This was such an amazing documentary, a great way to be introduced into SB19. We've been able to see them live. We've been seeing a lot of their stuff. We listen to them almost every day because the kids love dancing to their music. It really just is really uplifting and brings us into such a good mood. So it's been really cool to actually be able to deep dive into SB19, even to find out their name, because like you said, that's super important. Your name really is your brand, and to see that it is like the mathematical equation of how they got to 19, it makes sense. Seeing how Soundbreak is their name, it makes sense because they really are breaking into the music industry in such a unique way, because they have brought two sides of music together to create something beautiful. So this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. I can't wait to see more of SB19 with this amazing documentary and to be there with all of you 18. So thank you so much for being with us. Peace and love, everyone.
God bless y'all.
Take care and bye for now.